Well, gang, it looks like that you might want to have to sit down for this one tonight, because we are talking about the lizard people, the shapeshifters, the reptilians. This has been a topic of discussion, or one of the biggest conspiracy, and it's a good one indeed. It's just, you know, simply put, that the shapeshifters are controlling us, they are in the government, and that the reptilians are real. And this kind of brings me back to the time, you remember that plane lady? Yeah, exactly. So the plane lady, some believe her, some thought she was local. But what about this gentleman? What did he say back in the 90s? We're gonna take a look at that, and we're gonna start it off with this one. You don't have to like the video, you don't even have to subscribe, none of that, unless you want to, of course. But you know, simply put, this is the most basic way to understand it. Sure, this might be AI, sure, this might be fake, but this is like one of the most basic way to understand like the reptilians, shapeshifters and all that, because they have lizard people, they can transform into humans. Not saying they are real, but that's like the conspiracy, okay, that they can shift, okay. And apparently during one of the UAP hearing that happened a couple of months ago, they said that the Nordics are here, okay, one of the alien race, the gray aliens are here, the mantis, the insectoids, which are the most intelligent out of them all, and also apparently the reptilians. That's what was said during a UAP hearing a couple of months ago. So that begs the question, are they actually real? Are they here? Check this one out, roll it.
Humanity. Because they don't like us.
And what are they willing to do with humanity?
Eat us. There's no need for us. I mean, look at where we are. Look at us right now as a civilization, as a society. Yeah. They don't need anything. They have all this technology that they want. We can't really offer them except maybe do some work for them, but they don't need all of us to work for them. They don't respect human life in any way whatsoever. Mankind on a whole is really agricultural. We really, as a race, if we were left alone, would be nurturing the earth. We would be living in tribal communities like the Native American Indians did.
That would explain why we're all so miserable now. We have all gone astray from our essence.
That's really our nature, our essence. You know, the cities and the culture that we're living in now has totally cut us off from the land, from who.
He said that back in the 90s, and now sitting in 2026, let me know when you're watching. Maybe you're watching this in the 2100. Hey, what's up? Hopefully everything is good. Hopefully you did not see a second sun pull up 11 p.m. in the night, because of what's going on right now. Pretty crazy. And the cities are definitely chaotic though for a lot of people though, and they're becoming even more chaotic. I'm talking about, you know, you gotta have like 3-4 jobs to sustain yourself, and a whole lot of the craziness.
What our real essence is, which is nature. More of us really need to start taking the perspective that what we're doing here isn't right. We need to get in touch with what's out there. The whole idea that, God, how did we get here? What makes me be here? As opposed to going home after work, turning on TV, watching 3 hours of television, going to bed, getting up the next morning, going to work, and doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
It is a rat race more than ever.
Again, like robots. Throw the televisions away. Feed your mind. Feed your mind with spirit, with questions about existence, about what it is we're doing here, why we're here, what the hell is really going on. Why is it that I have all these material things and I'm still miserable in my life?
Pretty existential, right? And the new TV are the phones. Shout out to Minutes of Harvard. Check this.
I came across this news article from WSMV4 News, which was posted a few days ago, I believe on the 22nd, giving us an update on an incident that happened 5 years ago. This incident involving this individual, Anthony Warner, who supposedly believes in a lot of quote-unquote conspiracy theories, to the point that he caused this massive explosion in Nashville, also taking himself out in the process. But before we go any further, take a look at this update that just came out of nowhere.
All right, take a look at this photo. It's among the new images that we have obtained of the man who set off a suicide bomb in downtown Nashville 5 years ago. His name was Anthony Warner. Now, we've now obtained this photograph along with several others showing his bizarre behavior long before the bombing. Now, this photo was given to me by a former friend, and it was taken while they were out camping. Now, you can see this
Nashville, okay, a peaceful bomb, or let's just say, cannot say certain words on YouTube, built device to see lizard people. Wow!
This device that is holding in his hand. Warner made this thing. You can see it's kind of piecemeal together. He told his friends that through the lens on this device, he could see lizard people in the woods. It's among the bizarre theories that he believed in. You can read our full investigation into Warner and everything we've now uncovered about him in the comments. And that's your Family Finds Out.
So yeah, what has come out after all this time is that he had a special device that allowed him to see reptilians in the woods. And then after he told his friends this, not too long after, this is when the explosion would occur.
Dang.
This is an interview with one of his friends.
First, I sat down with a former friend of the bomber who was sharing troubling photos of what she witnessed and documented. In so many ways, the fear of what Anthony Warner would do on Christmas Day 2020 began in the woods of the Montgomery Bell State Park the year before.
That whole trip is when I started questioning everything. I think it started my awakening of Tony Warner.
Pam Perry camped with Warner, who she called Tony. He dated her sister in high school, and they'd reconnected after her sister's death. So when Warner invited her to the trails of the park to camp, she decided to go. She did not expect for Warner to take out materials, some of it seen at the base of this tree, and throw a small amount of it onto the fire pit.
The thing blew up.
And there was more troubling developments on those camping trips. Perry took a photo of the device Warner is carrying. You can see there's a kind of screen on it. And through that screen, Perry says Warner would rant about what he could see. Do you remember what he would rant about?
Well, he was always talking about his reptilians, but he's talking about this woman.
And he thought she was a
That
reptile?
was her, and he's obsessed with her. In fact, these reptilian people live in the parks.
Cannot believe it that they actually aired that on real TV news, right? I'm not saying like the reptilian topic is fake or real or anything like that. We're just trying to learn this and see this, right? But you know, it's pretty wild that they actually talked about it openly on a news channel.
Did you worry about that he was severely mentally ill and that you may have not been safe with him?
Well, I don't know that I actually thought that he was mentally ill. I thought he was just crazy, insane. And I was weak. I was weak, and he took advantage of that.
And this is just the beginning of our investigation. For the first time, I sit down with the lead investigator on this case for the FBI. Tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, you're going to hear what she uncovered about the reasons that Warner specifically chose 2nd Avenue and why he had convinced himself that he needed to set off that massive explosion.
Then they get into, and again, they've never spoken about this before, the reason why he caused this
explosion to break reincarnation loop. Yeah, that's another one, right? Reincarnation. Yeah, a lot of people believe in that, and a lot of people don't. I guess that's a given, right? Some would, some wouldn't. New photos show Anthony Warner's device he used to see reptilian humans. Okay, at first glance though, I would call BS, okay? I would just simply call this BS. But there is a lot more into it, right? And let's actually circle back to the time when this happened. The famous plane lady, right?
I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two
right.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Yep.
And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
By the way, thankfully the plane landed safely, but that plane lady though, you know, the interview was done with her after the fact, and yeah, so she changed her stance and essentially she accepted the fact that in that specific moment, okay, only in that specific moment, she was a little bit crazy, a little cuckoo though. But coming back to this one, quickly though, I need to take a second to shout out you guys, especially Carolina, Jess, Annie, Slim Pickens, Jima, the Marlena Effect, and the homie Craig and Greg. Thank you guys so much for being members on the channel, for supporting the channel the way you do. Also shout out to Melissa for the super thanks, the homie Tino, and Annie again, and the homie Gabe, and Diva's mom. Don't want to say your full username because it's gonna sound some different. Big pose on that, but let's actually get back to it. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel the way you do. Appreciate all the love. Alright, let's get back to the content here, baby kicks. Let's see.
Explosion and wanted to take himself out was to break a reincarnation loop that he was in.
He had lots of writings.
Those writings matched what Warner did with that strange device in the woods.
That device that could see certain entities.
We discovered a lot of written works by him involving reptilians and lizard people and, deep secret underground bases.
And there was more. It turns out there's a reason he chose to end life with an explosion.
Based on the totality of his writings and things, is he talked a lot about breaking the reincarnation loop.
And what was Warner's belief?
Quickly though, I don't believe in reincarnation. I believe Hinduism is pretty massive on reincarnation. I'm not sure about like any other religion. I don't think. Islam definitely is not. I believe Christianities also don't believe it. Okay, let me actually Google that really quickly though. Hinduism, I do know for the fact that they believe. But yeah, what about you? Do you believe in that? If you do so, put it in the comments. Do you believe it because of the religious reasons, or do you believe it because it's like more of your fate? Yeah, let me know in the comments, because I definitely don't want reincarnation to be real, right? Because then it's like, you're always coming back and you're re-attempting, I guess, right? And some believe that this life is hell and, yeah, it's trial and error, whatever. And, there's beauty in closure, though. There is definitely beauty in that, because, listen, man, there's a lot of misery, okay? You're always gonna have, what's this called? Life is like a rat race, okay? You got ups and downs, and, it gets pretty bad at times, right? Due Christianity. So I definitely hope it's not a real thing, though. I know different people got different beliefs, though. Okay, do Christianity believe in reincarnation? Let's see. And by the way, this is Google AI, so yeah, if you're a Christian, put it in the comments. Mainstream Christianity does not believe in reincarnation. So what about like the traditional? I suppose like Abrahamic religions don't believe it, right? Islam, I do know, don't believe it. Hinduism, yeah, I know Hinduism believe it, but let me actually still double check. Yes, Hindus fundamentally believe in reincarnation. I believe Buddhists. What about Buddhists? Let's see, Buddhists. Do Buddhists believe? Yes, okay, yeah, kind of makes sense. Yes, Buddhists believe in a cycle of life, death, and rebirth, but they typically use the term rebirth rather than reincarnation. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's get back to it.
When it came to stopping repeated reincarnations,
you have to have a high energy event. And so I can't think of anything that's more high energy than an explosive device detonating that utilized high explosives.
And so, do you think he never intended to actually hurt anybody?
In fact, it looks like everything he did was to evacuate people before he detonated his device.
Is there anything about this case that troubles you to this day?
Actually, yes.
Laskowski worries about other people deep in the throes of conspiracy theories. To not reframe your words, but you're worried about the next person who's out there that may be at that edge of madness that wants to do something like this, and are you going to get to them in time?
Exactly.
How often do you think about it?
Every day. I'm just traumatized.
While she is still haunted by Warner's impact on her life,
this is my mom's tree.
Perry says there's one day he can't take away from her.
I don't think about him at Christmas anymore. I'm not going to give him any control of me anymore.
So they're trying to make it sound like he had this special device a year prior to this explosion, but who really knows the truth? This kind of really gives off They Live vibes when it comes to those special glasses that allows you to see the truth. The movie also eerily ended with an explosion as well, but they're also trying to lump anybody.
So either a person that got inspired off of the movie and wanted to recreate it, or he was onto something. Simple as that. But my question is that, what about the equipment? Why aren't we hearing more about the equipment he made, right? And did the FBI or CIA or like any of the government reptilians, the lizard people, showed up or not to get his equipment, to get his toys? Okay, pulls on the toys, but you know what I mean. So.
That talks about reptilians, reptoids, the theory, the quote-unquote theory, as dangerous people that will cause these explosions. But like with...
Okay, hunting for the lizard people on the dangerous conspiracy theories that led to the Nashville. Okay.
Anybody that invents something that they don't like, they probably took him out. He probably really did invent a device that allows people to see these things in a true form. They got wind of
debatable, but interesting nonetheless.
it. Somebody probably called it in, gave a tip in, and they took him out. No different again than the movie They Live when they found out this individual had special glasses that allowed them to see the truth.
You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
Wow! So the lizard people realized, and he realized,
Demon face syndrome has now become dragon face syndrome out of nowhere just in the past few months, because
there is a rare disorder where people see other faces as dragons. I don't know about that one. Have you ever felt that way?
Apparently people are now seeing the faces of dragons, aka reptoids. I'm gonna go ahead and play that section from my previous video on Minutes of Horror. From Idiocracy to They Live, I do want to go ahead and talk about this. So I found something interesting because I've always been interested in the topic of demon face syndrome, because one day in March in 2024, just right before the April 8th solar eclipse, all these mainstream news agencies had gotten together to remind the public that there was a condition that exists where people...
Rare condition? Okay, so it's like starting a demon, it's like staring at demons.
Agencies had gotten together to remind the public...
Rare condition caused patient to see demonic faces. Wow! And you know, with the alien disclosure that is imminent apparently, right? The government is openly talking about it. Yeah, and they are talking about interdimensional beings, so plus like the new trailer just dropped for the Disclosure Day movie, and if you've seen the new trailer, they were, you know, the apparently one of the person in the trailer was asking the question, are they people, basically referring to like, hey, are the aliens like people? And he says nope. And I believe the word interdimensional or demon was thrown around. I need to rewatch it to make sure, but yeah, so it's kind of like going in the direction, I guess the entire disclosure is going in the direction of like they are interdimensional and they are demons though. So, and also a lot of people do believe that it's gonna be a false one. So let's find out though if it's gonna be a false one and they're gonna scare the public with the demons disclosure, or are we gonna get the real disclosure? So yeah, let's find out.
That there was a condition that exists where people will see the faces of demons. Just randomly, out of the blue, and it's like, why? The man they use as an example had this condition supposedly for years. He was studied in 2020, and news and media were silent in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and then...
Victor, in November 2020, noticed out of the blue that people's faces around him looked demonic, distorted. The extreme rare neurological disorder of perception is called prospometamorphosis, okay, or morphosia. Is that how you say? Or PMO, okay, short for PMO. Come on, man, just give me the short one then.
All of a sudden, just right before the April 8th solar eclipse, they dropped this news on us. And what I found odd, the faces they used as an example was not the traditional faces one would see when they had demon face syndrome, because if you had demon face syndrome, you would see faces as if they were a Picasso painting. You would see maybe an eye on the forehead, a nose on the chin, and so forth.
Dajjal, the Antichrist!
But the faces they use as an example looked very amphibian. The faces news and media were showing us were very similar to the faces from the music video by Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun. And the people in that music video were clearly reptiles. And let us not forget what happened to the lead singer of Soundgarden, but outside of that, it seemed like demon face syndrome just suddenly went away from the news. They told us about it, and then poof, it was gone. It's like, what was the purpose of telling us?
Right.
Were certain individuals going to start losing their form, and the only excuse they could give is that there was an outbreak, a pandemic of demon face syndrome, something impacting the brain. Who really knows? But why am I talking about demon face syndrome today? It happened back in 2024. Well, look at these interesting news articles that came out just about 2 to 3 months ago. Like this article right here from Discover Magazine that was published on September 8th.
That's why.
There is a rare disorder where people see other faces as dragons. If this article isn't gaslighting, I don't know what is, but continue to read the article. It says, in 2011, a 52-year-old woman arrived at a psychiatric clinic in the Netherlands with a rare and peculiar disorder. Within minutes of setting eyes on someone, their face would mysteriously morph into that of a dragon. While the woman was able to recognize faces, according to the study, in just minutes, they turned black, grew long pointy ears, and a protruding snout, and displayed a reptoid skin and huge eyes in bright yellow, green, blue, or red.
Oh, dang! What the hell? Okay, so they can have like different color eyes. Okay, I didn't know about that. I thought it was just gonna be one color, and like the slit for the eye pupil, like a lizard, right? That's what I thought. Okay, holy crap. All right.
An occasional occurrence, it would happen multiple times a day. Testing for seeing dragons, these distressing distortions were a lifelong affliction, one the patient recalled experiencing in childhood. She remained unfazed by the dragons initially. Only in adolescence did it dawn on her that those around her did not see people as dragons as she did. And I just wonder if you remember the movie They Live, which I believe is more of a documentary than fiction, where an individual needed special glasses to see the truth around him, to see these entities around him. I just wonder if certain people have something going on with their brain that allows them to see past the BS.
Could you imagine that?
E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados.
Whoa, yeah, drink water, homie. Drink that water, could you?
Já estão encomendados. Estudos para eliminar.
Yeah, get him some cough syrup, though.
Para eliminar. Chega, é muito.
So got tablets.
Because this news article screams every bit of They Live without the glasses. She had all these tests done, and then when she had an MRI, the MRI scan returned and showed only a few white matter abnormalities. The abnormalities were located near the certain part of the brain, which is associated with cognition and linked to cognitive impairments in schizophrenia. So what they did was they gave her medication, and this medication blocked her brain from seeing people as dragons. It is just such a weird...
Yeah, in other words, you loco, you need to be medicated right now. But no, that's insane though. You know, everything... It seems like the Matrix is breaking quite literally. But if any reptilian is actually watching this video, oh, how you doing, man? Let us know. Yeah, pull up in the comment section, right? Yeah, we want to know the truth, man. Let us know why you're here, man.
Weird article, and it's like they're telling people or anybody out there that also can see the faces of reptilians that come to us, will give you a medication and your brain will then go ahead and block it out because you're just a schizophrenic. Let's also not forget this classic scene in the movie They Live, and if you read the comment section when it comes to this scene, people are saying it aged like fine wine, and it did indeed.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
Humanoids talking to the power elite in a ballroom about 2025, and as of 2025, we've been hearing a lot about a ballroom and aliens. So this movie has clearly aged like fine wine.
Potentially, yeah, so this is with the Three-Eye Atlas, the Team Atlas, the Three-Eye Wanker, the Peaced Out, whatever you want to call it, right? Potentially, hostile alien threat is moving through space thanks to jets as it nears Earth. We heard that with Avi Loeb. It has it came and gone, right? And right now it's on its way to Jupiter, but soon it might leave our planet system, or what's this called, like the solar system rather. Yeah, so but some believe it was like them alien mothership. Some believe it was just like a nothing burger. So but make no mistake though, they're officially talking about disclosing the truth, and Rep Anna Paulina Luna talking about interdimensional beings, others saying that they are actually aliens. Now, you know, aliens, demons, these are two different things, but some believe it's one thing, and whatever you believe, I mean, you believe that, you got your reasons, right? Definitely put it in the comments. But one group believes that aliens are not real, but demons and angels are. Other group believe that, yup, aliens are real. And there's another group that believes that, you know, demons, angels are real too, but also aliens are real, which I would say I fall into that group. I obviously am religious, so I do believe that angels and demons are real, but also aliens are real too. And when I say aliens, and when anybody say alien, they just mean not the illegal aliens, guys, on the planet, okay, but they mean like, or how the United States of America would call everybody illegal alien, or alien if you're not a US citizen. Yeah, alien as in extraterrestrial, some intelligent life, humanoid, a life form not from this planet, essentially, right? That's the definition for alien, extraterrestrial. And interdimensional, they would be more like, you know, traveling through space and time, maybe through portals. And right now there's a lot of talk about portals too. We covered that in one of the previous videos too. So yeah, and interdimensional is one of those things where yeah, it could be like actual extraterrestrial that are traveling interdimensionally, or it might be demons that are traveling interdimensionally through portals. So either way, it looks like we're gonna have a disclosure, and whatever, yeah, like whenever that comes, some would believe it, depending on how it goes. Some would believe it's fake, it's a false alien disclosure, or some would believe it's real. And depending on what they share, it seems like based on everything that's going on, I feel like that they're just gonna come out and say that these are interdimensional and they are demons. It seems like that to me, though. You know, could be wrong, and let's find out. But that's kind of like the hint. That these are the hints we're getting so far.
And a lot of these individuals that we see that are truly in charge, like these tech giants, are anything but human. I mean, literally, Peter Thiel's name is an anagram, letter for letter, for the reptile.
I went with this one guy, and he just he looked like a lizard. I was so scared. He was sitting beside me, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, holy shit, he looks just like a lizard, and I had to go. It was really bad.
So you just left? Wow.
The humanoids, I had posted this video clip in my most recent video, and people had noticed this reporter talking to Bill Gates, and they noticed—
Is that the same guy? Yo! Oh my god! Holy crap, is that the same guy? But yeah, that's a different angle video. I mean, this one is clearly somebody recording using their phone right from the screen. Ain't no way, bro. You gotta say psych, bro. You gotta say psych, man. What the hell?
His eye. It looks very serpent-like. And I was curious about this myself, and people are leaving comments saying, well, there's nothing wrong with his eye. There's a condition called columba, I think that's how you pronounce it, that gives the iris a more reptile-like appearance. There are even
but yeah, I mean, you see this, right? This does not look reptile to me. I mean, okay, I would say this might be the condition, but I mean, this one seems kind of different. Yeah, this seems kind of lizard-like, but yeah. I mean, bro is not gonna beat the allegations, but maybe it's a real medical condition, though. I don't buy into that, but okay.
How you pronounce it, that gives the iris a more reptile-like appearance. There are even people saying, well, my friend also has something very similar, so I guess it is what it is. But more and more people are posting video footage of people they see on TV that are being interviewed. Their facial features are distorting. They're looking less and less human, like this individual right here. I believe he's a member of parliament or somebody interviewing about the members of parliament, but look at his teeth. They look sharper than what you would see from a normal human. And I get it, right? People can definitely have bad teeth. I'm not humiliating him for that.
Right.
But it's just...
Yeah, bro needs a dentist, or maybe bro has ate one of his dentists. Okay, just jokes, man. With teeth like that, I don't know about that one, man.
Something looks very off about this. It looks like they're growing as he's talking, and they're just very, very sharp. Again, something you would see from some sort of reptile, like an alligator or something along those lines.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know about that one, man.
To be fair,
does bro got a wife though? Like, cause I wonder, right? Like when he kisses his wife or a girl, I wonder like what happens then, right? Because the teeth are just like really sharp, razor sharp though.
At the end of the day, I don't know what conditions these people may have, but I do believe there is indeed something out there. On my other channel, Minutes of Horror, over a year ago, I had posted this video right here, and as you can see, YouTube, they gave me the blue bar fact check. This came directly...
I'll probably have that on this video too, right? Document proves Queen Elizabeth was a shapeshifter. I don't know, man. You know, there's also this thing, or this conspiracy, where they say that everybody that is super famous, I'm not talking about just famous alone, because a lot of people can be famous on the internet especially, and in general too, I guess, with movie stars, but you know, I'm talking about like the super famous rich people. They are apparently not real, or not real in a sense they're not real humans, but they are like the shapeshifters, the reptilians, you know, the aliens and all that, right? They say that. And another speaking of they are aliens, right? Recently, Robert Bigelow came out. So he's also pushing for alien disclosure, and he says that aliens are walking among us. So like we talked about, there is one subsection of the government trying to push the narrative that the aliens are demons, but he claims that aliens are walking among us, okay? And mind you, when you say alien means extraterrestrial, generally speaking, that's the definition, right? And demons are something different. Like, these are two different things, but obviously, depending on your faith, depending on how you see it, yeah, you're gonna believe one over the other, and that's fine. Yeah, that's your belief, that's your belief. But I do wonder, right? Robert Bigelow says aliens are walking among us, and Robert Bigelow is the guy that actually bought the ranch, the Skinwalker Ranch, and we heard crazy things about Skinwalker Ranch. He bought it, put scientists on. He's a billionaire, so he put scientists there to study it. And for a couple of years, you know, I heard that they didn't find anything, but then they actually were experiencing a lot of paranormal activity, right? So there was something going on there. So Skinwalker Ranch, very, very popular, and now he comes out, says that aliens are walking among us. You got the Steven Spielberg movie coming out, the Disclosure Day, okay? You got Trump openly saying, yeah, we're gonna do the disclosure, but right now we got a situation in Middle East, so yeah, I wonder if they're gonna play the card after that. And you got some people in the government, they are saying these aliens are demonic, so I'm assuming this is to do with their faith, but others are saying, yep, aliens are real, okay? So yeah, man, these are insane times to think about. I mean, these are insane times, and it's insane to have this discussion, and honestly exciting times at the same time too, because nobody could have talked about these topics openly years and years ago. Yeah, you would have been labeled like just local, right? Yeah, you need to go to a mental hospital, that's what they would say. But
from the royal website, royal.uk was not third party, directly from their website, and they released an article titled "Queen Seen by Her Subjects in a Different Form." It went on to say the Queen has ruled for longer than any monarch in British history, becoming a much loved and respected figure across the globe. Her extraordinary reign has seen her travel more widely than any other monarch, undertaking many historic overseas visits. Known for her sense of duty and her devotion to a life of service, she has been an important figurehead for the UK and the Commonwealth during times of enormous social change. Earlier this week, the Queen was seen by thousands of people in a form they are not acquainted with. We seek to reassure the public that the Queen is still their Queen and remains the respected and loved figure they have always known. While she may not be human, she is a devoted leader and monarch, and she believes her subjects will grow to accept her and her family for what they are. Quoted as saying,
while she may not be human, bro. Okay, that's the quote, and I quote,
"I pay tribute to the commitment, selfless devotion, and generosity of spirit shown by my millions of human subjects, and I fully expect them to digest this news in a mature and humble fashion. Nothing has changed. Together, we shall march on."
Bruh.
It did stay up for a couple of hours until they had deleted it, but unfortunately for them, the Wayback Machine captured it, and you yourself can still see it to this day. I just wonder if this article had been saved in their back pocket, just in case one day she may have slipped and revealed her real form, and then they can go ahead and quickly release this article. But it seemed like somebody sent that out a little too early, and didn't also Princess Diana say they were reptiles as well?
Dang. Did you see this video though? Yep, definitely check out this video on the screen, because the stuff that is coming out right now about the aliens and the UFOs, pretty wild. It's a pretty crazy video to say the least. Check it out, and I'll see you right there.